Jim. Like I say, maybe after the sun goes down, it might get a little better for you. Okay, that time, Jimmy, you come in about 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. I could make you out and hear what you said, so I'm going to clear out also, but you're starting to get a little better. Wherever you were at the last transmission, try to remember it. N90.
Okay, I'm halfway up the whistle here. Facing southwest. 819 Charlie Clear.
Welcome, everybody, to the... Hang on. Welcome, everybody, to the Friday Night Fun Net. ZO, can you taught me VO, okay?
You're coming in okay. Go ahead. We got a little hum and a little noise, but you're probably 8 on a scale of 10.
Okay, thank you. This was acting a little funny. Welcome, everybody, to the Friday Night Fun Net. I'm your temporary host tonight, Larry, K9KZT, along with Rick, KD9QDP. We're sitting in for Jim, KC9GCR, who's recovering from COVID. And let's see if he's out there now. He's operating on a handheld provided by Kerry, KD9MAP. Come in, Jim, KC9GCR. This is K9KZT and your Friday Night Fun Net gang.
Okay, this is K9GCR. I hear you, Larry. Go ahead. You're doing fine.
Thank you very much. We can copy, but it's way down in the noise. We'll get back to you in a few minutes, or jump in anytime you want. This net is open to all hams, regardless of club or organization or affiliation. The PL tone is 114.8. Is there any priority or emergency traffic? Okay, with that out of the way, let's get underway. Tonight's topic for the roundtable will be new equipment recommendations for new hams, and or what should new hams look for at HamFest in the way of used equipment. Also, what should they avoid? Okay, we've been talking about the last couple of sessions about advice for new hams, and then the last time it was new ham etiquette. Let's talk about equipment this time. We'll take first aid check-ins, then have a roundtable discussion, then the Gene Duncan Memorial DX Corner, then the TechNet, SwapNet, and Trivia Contest. For the roundtable now, please wait for me to acknowledge the station checking in before calling. First, short time or mobile stations in northern Illinois. Come now, please.
KD9SHG, KX, short time. Short time, no traffic.
Okay, sorry, got about 3 at once there. KD9S, something, come now.
KD9SHG.
Thank you, KD9SHG. And your name, please?
My name's John. Nice to be here with you guys. I'm on my mobile for a few minutes on my break. Thought I'd check in with you guys.
Appreciate it. Good to have you, John. We meet here every Friday night, 8 o'clock. You're more than welcome. Next station, come in now, please.
Alpha Kilo 9 Foxtrot, David, mobile and Beloit, no traffic, short time.
Okay, K9 something Foxtrot. Can you come again, please?
That was Alpha Kilo 9 Foxtrot, David in Beloit, no traffic.
Thank you, David. HA9F. Next station, come in now, please.
KL7JAB, Bill in Rockford, no traffic.
Thank you, Bill. KL7JAB. And next station, short time. Come in now, please.
Alpha 9, Victoria Uniform. Michael in Janesville.
Thank you, Michael. AA9VU, always good to hear from you. Next station, short time. Come now, please.
AC9NW, Tom and Roscoe. Short time, no traffic.
AC9NW, Tom, thank you. Good to hear from you. Next station, please.
KD9HKX, Larry in Roscoe, short time.
Thank you, Larry. KD9HKX, glad to hear from you. Next station, come now, please.
Whiskey Bravo 9er, Papa Charlie Alpha, Ron and Roscoe. Short time, no traffic.
Thank you, Ron. WB9PCA. Next station, short time. Come now, please.
KC9QPL, Paul, Low Spark, start time.
Thank you, Paul. Great to hear from you in Lowe's Park. Next station, short time. Come now, please. Next station, Northern Illinois, short time. Come now, please.
KD9SVA, Matt in Stillman Valley.
Thank you, Matt. KD9SVA, SVA in Stillman Valley. Thank you very much. Next station, short time, Northern Illinois. Come now, please.
Kilowatt Uniform 9 Sugar.
KU9S. Thank you very much. Short time. Glad to have you. Good signal. Next station, come now, please. Short time, Northern Illinois. Come now, please. Okey-doke. If any of you guys want to come back in later, you're more than welcome. Regular check-ins, Northern Illinois. Come now, please. Thank you. KD9MED in Rochelle. Mike, good to hear from you. Next station, regular in Northern Illinois. Come now, please.
So Delta 9, Echo Papa Zulu, L in Rochelle.
Good to hear from you, Al. Nice signal up here. Next station, regular check-in, Northern Illinois.
W9JTC.
W9JTC. Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate the check-in. Good to hear from you. And if somebody doesn't get to check in now, we'll have plenty of standbys later on for you to jump in. Okay, regular check-in, Northern Illinois. Come now.
Charlie 9, Golf Oscar, Larry in Rockton.
Larry in Rockton, our board president. Glad to hear you. Okay, next station.
AE9JF, Jim in Loves Park.
E9JF, glad to have you aboard. Next station, regular check-in, Northern Illinois. Come now, please. Next station, Northern Illinois, regular check-ins. Come in now, please.
Rockford.
I heard KD9QDP Rick and another station in there. Come now, please.
KD9MAP, Kerry in Rockford.
You carry KD9MAP. Other stations, Northern Illinois. Come on in now. Okay, let's move on to southern Wisconsin. We'll come back for any late check-ins and the short timers, people that are out there at the restaurant or the fish fry and enjoying bratwurst or kielbasa or maybe a nice brew or something and sitting in Baumgartners and just don't want to leave the atmosphere. Okay, short timers, southern Wisconsin. Come now, please. Timers, southern Wisconsin. Come on in now. Okay, regular check-in, southern Wisconsin. Come now, please. Maybe my signal's bouncing off the cheddar curtain up there. Okay, regular check-ins from southern Wisconsin. Come now. Okay, none heard from Wisconsin. That's unusual. All right, we'll take a standby later on. Let's go right to the top of the list here for the round table. And let's see. The question topic tonight will, or if you have something else you want to bring up, please do so. By the way, tomorrow will be the 76th anniversary of VE Day, Victory in Europe Day, when President Truman declared victory in Europe. There were still pockets of Nazi resistance on the Eastern Front, and Russia celebrates a day later on May 9th. But anyway, let's remember all the people that suffered and died in World War II on the European theater, and pray that there will never be another one like it. Okay, top of the list, and the topic is what new equipment do you recommend for new hams, or if they're going to buy something used at a ham fest or whatever, what should they look for and what should they avoid? Or anything else you want to have. Those are short time. Okay, regular KD9, MED, Mike, your thoughts? Very good, very good. If you think of more things, jump in later. KD9, EPZ, Al, what do you think?
Well, I'm pretty much into working with an Elmer before they get their license, and I'm not saying that everybody does this. I give anybody Elmer. I give them their first handheld. And yes, it is one of these cheap Chinese handhelds, but I give them one so they got a radio to start off with. And used equipment, and I've had used equipment, but I've always gotten it through somebody I knew. So that's the thing too. I've known people to get bit by buying used equipment from like on eBay or something. I don't recommend it. As far as what radio, I know I have a very good opinion on my first starter HF radio was an Icon 718, and I absolutely think that. As a matter of fact, that's the radio. I know Jimmy's running a 718. I'm sure a lot of people are, but that's what my first HF radio was, and of course I've moved up to what I have now. But like I say, the radio I have now is a bit probably a bit out of price range for most new hams. It was out of the price range for me when I started.
Thank you, Al. Good advice. KD9EPZ, appreciate that. ICOM 718 was a good rate, I think. Okay, I should have mentioned prices on any recommendations you have for new equipment, kind of what ballpark, whatever you think. W9JTC, Jamie, your thoughts on this, or anything else?
Well, good evening to everybody on the net. W9JTC here. Well, I would say first and foremost, if it's new gear, I have to agree with previous comments. Do your homework. Do it. EHAM reviews are great. Sometimes you have to take them with a grain of salt because there are some that love them and some that hate them, and there may be reasons behind it. If I would say this. For a new ham, if you're going to buy new equipment, do your homework and then buy from probably like HRO, Gigaparts, either one of those, R&L. They're all great. I've bought from all three of those. They've been great. Let me do a reset here so I don't time out. Okay, I'll reset that. Same thing with the new gear. But if you're going to a ham fest and you're buying used equipment, I would say first and foremost, I wouldn't buy anything very expensive. The reason being is, unless you know the individual, it could be bad. Not saying that it necessarily is. It's just that's just like I said. This would just be my advice to a new ham. I've been bit before on a few things. Nothing very expensive. Thank goodness, knock on Formica, but that would be my advice for Ham Fest. And the ICOM 718 is a great starter radio. I started with a Kenwood TS430S that I bought at a Ham Fest, but it was from a local ham, so I felt pretty comfortable. It turned out to be a terrific radio. Moved up to the 718 and moved up several rigs since then, and it's just something. It's a progression. So hopefully that helps any of the new hams out there if they're on the fence on equipment there. Hopefully that helps. Back to net control, W9JTC.
Thank you, Jamie. W9JTC. Let's take a standby. Jimmy, KC9GCR. Any comments so far? Oh, we might have caught him away from the radio. Okay, we'll come back to you, Jimmy. AC9GO, Larry, how are you?
Hey, good evening, Larry, and the net, and Jimmy, if he gets back there, I think he's out chasing nurses again. I don't know about that guy. This is AC9GO. I heard watched, I should say, a YouTube video by a guy out in California. His name is Jim. I can't think of his call, but it's a short call, and he used to live up on top of a mountain out there. He was talking about buying, like the Icon that was mentioned, the Kenwood was mentioned, the FT450 which is a Yaesu that you can still buy new, and maybe start out with something like that that's in the 500 to $700 range. FT DX 1200. I had one of those, and it was a great rig. Let me break just a sec. Thought I better give the repeater a break there. Anyhow, if you want to get into something that is in like the $1,000 range, the IC 7300, you can find them from 900 to 1100, right in that range. Some of these new Yaesus that they just came up with, they run a little higher than that, but they're looking like good rigs. Anyhow, I would start out maybe something in around $500 or so, and then maybe get pick out something else a little bit later. But that'll give you a chance to see what's out there and what bands you want to be on and that sort of thing. But a lot of YouTube videos on hands just starting out, so you might check them out. And back to net. This is the C9GO.
Thank you, Larry. AC9GO, very good advice. Very good advice. We ought to make a list of this and put it up on Rah website. AE9JF. Jim, how you doing?
AE9JF. Good evening, Larry. Good evening, everyone on the net. As far as new equipment, I vote for the start out with one of the handhelds. They're not expensive, and learn to operate it. I know that's how I started, and it really helped a lot to be able to study that and figure it out while I was taking my learning my technician's ticket. So after that, if you decide you're really interested in it, you move up to HF. I started with an ICOM 718. Glad I'm dead. So that's my 2 cents. AE9JF, back to net.
AE9JF, very, very good. Good advice. And let's see if Jim is back with us. KC9GCR, K9KZT, how are you doing? KC9GCR, K9KZT. You're down in the noise, Jim, and I got about half of that. So like somebody said, I think before that, increase your power or move to a new location. I'm not sure. Can you get to the second floor there? I don't know if that's a possibility or not. And if somebody's in the room already, just chase them out or let them listen. Maybe one of those cute nurses will help you. Okay. KD9QDP. Rick, how are you?
Larry, Rick here, KD9QDP. Well, I would suggest somebody start out with something small. You're just getting into the hobby here. At that point, you don't really know if you're going to like it or not, but start out with something small, or used, something you can afford. You're going to buy used space station equipment. You can probably get somewhere halfway decent between, I would say, maybe $1 to $10 some things you can buy filters for. You can have a nice radio, but if it doesn't have filters, you're going to be very disappointed on the performance of it. Especially if you work HF. And even 10 meters, when it picks up, it's going to be crowded. You use filters there, too. But I would say do some research on what you want to buy. Keep that in paper. Keep it in mind. Do the research first. And then at that point, if it's local here, go to the individual who's got it for sale and ask to try it out and see how it performs and everything. And if they don't want to plug it in and try it out, well, I have to try it out. At that point, I pass it on, regardless of what condition it looks like. And like I said, buy what you can afford at the present. Don't spend a lot of money on equipment. Like I said, it might be something I may not like. And I would say the most important thing, when you buy a setup, is an antenna. That is the thing for any station. And I would suggest if you're going to buy an antenna, don't buy anything used. Buy it brand new. That's the key to any station. Whether you got a handheld, you're running a mobile, you have a base, the antenna is the thing. That you probably have to buy new. I would strongly recommend that. And let me see, I think, what else? Yeah, well, I guess I could just sum it down and just say, buy what you can afford at the present time. So, back to you.
T9QDP, thank you, Rick. Good advice there. Really something worth thinking about. Start small. Start affordable. Yes. KD9MAP, Kerry, how are you?
This is KD9MAP. Thank you, Larry. Good evening, everybody. I'm fine. I'm winding down after a busy couple weeks. The topic tonight, I assume you're addressing a ham who hasn't purchased anything yet. Is that correct?
Yes. Probably can assume that I think everybody would agree the first thing to buy is a handheld, so get in touch with the local hams. But I think after that, new ham who's starting out maybe on HF or wants a little better 2-meter rig, whatever you think is appropriate, go for it.
Okay, well, I have 3 pieces of advice. Number 1, get a Baofeng handheld. It's only $25. That's the same as you would spend on a restaurant dinner these days. You'll have to put a better antenna on it. The second point, well, let me reset. My second point, this is very important, avoid impulse buying. Do your research. Have a plan. And my number 3 is plan on spending at least as much on your antennas as on your rig. 89MAP, over.
89MAP, very, very good. Appreciate that. Spend this much. I'm writing all this down, or trying to. Very good. Okay, that runs through the list. Let's see if we got anybody in Wisconsin. Any Wisconsin check-ins, regular or short time? Come now, please. Please identify which you are. Wisconsin, are you there?
Still there. I looked it up on Google.
Maybe that cheddar curtain is bouncing the signals back. Okay, any new check-ins? Come now, please.
Wisconsin is still up here. I just checked it out here.
It's still there. Okay, very, very good. Okay, maybe everybody's out at the fish fry or the kielbasa or the bratwurst or sitting around Baumgartner's in Monroe. and having a great time, and the last thing they want is communications with Illinois. Okay, any other check-ins? Come now, please. Nothing heard? Well, we'll stand by later. Maybe people are coming in from their dinner or something like that. Okay. Let's see. Where are we? Okay, let's go to the DX corner, the Gene Duncan Memorial DX corner after our good friend K9IKP and other calls. Who's got some hot DX, whether it's SWL, high frequency, 2 meters, whatever you have, come now. Any DX to report? Anybody here Chicago on their crystal set?
I got one here, Larry, for you.
Go ahead, Rick.
This afternoon on 20 meters, contacted OK4YL. Her name is Alina, and she's located in the Czech Republic.
Sure wasn't a pilot with a call. I said, OK4YL. Okay, very good. Any information about her?
Oh, she's married. She's a senior citizen. Yeah, this is on 14, I believe, 55, upper side there. But that was, it was about 3 o'clock, thereabouts, I think it was.
Very, very good. Very good. Okay, anybody else for the DX corner?
More comment here.
Sorry, go ahead.
There's some activity on 10 meters.
At the moment?
As we speak, yep.
Very good. It's coming, folks. It's coming back. Any more, Rick?
No, that's it for here.
Okay, very good. I'm scanning Citizen Band at the moment, and I don't see anybody there. So, grab 10 meters, maybe, anyway. All right, anybody else for DX corner? Come now.
1690.
Sorry, I didn't quite get to the call. Repeat, please, and then give your traffic.
AC9GO. I've been looking at the band, and I don't know. It's almost like my antenna fell down. The bands are crummy tonight. From everything I see, it doesn't look like, you know, I see some blips on 10 meters, but I don't know if there's anything actually there. Yeah, there's something, but I don't know if something went wrong here, or the antenna fell down, or what's going on, but it sure sounds lousy. AC9GO.
9GO, thank you, Larry. Thank you. I just wonder if maybe, the Packers traded Aaron Rodgers to the Bears, and they're not speaking to us anymore. Okay, we'll find out. DX Corner continues. Anybody else?
Sorry, I got something else here, too, if I may.
Go ahead, Rick.
Today, on 40 meters, there's a net I check into there. It's called the 6A group. It's on 7.6A. And it was, the band was somewhat open for about 10 minutes. And all of a sudden, we lost communication throughout the whole continent. Nobody heard anybody really to speak of. And this played out, I would say, probably about 20, 25 minutes. And then about 20 minutes to it started picking up again. When it wasn't as good as it was, I mean, just about all the bands. It was like a solar flare or something, or solar was disturbance. I don't know what caused it, but yeah, it was just a complete blackout just about. I thought maybe it was that only affected frequency of 7268, but as I was going from one into the 42 band to the other, I mean, everything was just about dead. I did hear a little bit of CW traffic, but nothing really strong.
Thank you, Rick. You know, I heard on the news, in one of these deals where you're just half listening, that somebody was launching a rocket from Wallops Island and trying to disperse something in the upper atmosphere, I guess, over the Caribbean, about 250 miles up. I don't know if that was today or what, but I just wonder if something like that was happening. Does anybody know about that? Okay, well, I'll check the news after that and see what happened. I know way back in the 50s, somebody exploded a hydrogen bomb in the ionosphere, and it messed things up for a good long time. Anyway, we'll find out. Anything else for the DX corner? Come now.
KD9 MAP.
Cherry KD9 MAP, what you got?
Well, as to current band conditions, right now I'm running a whisper beacon on 20 meters. It's 200 milliwatts, 1/5 of a watt, and in the last half hour I've been getting spotted in Europe and Iceland and anyway, 20 meters is working. 89 MAP over.
Well, thank you very much for that. You know, I've suspected sometimes, I think especially on 6 and 10, that the band would be open, but everybody's listening and nobody's transmitting. Maybe there's something like that. Anyway, anything else to report DX-wise, Gary?
No, I've been off the FT8 for about a week now. I've just been so busy, so I started just setting up the whisper beacons and letting them run, and then just sitting back and watching the spotter reports. That's a lot of fun, and that's something inexpensive that a beginning ham can do too. You can get a whisper transmitter for well under $100, and you can hit the whole world with it. 89 MAP over.
Gary, what's the frequency on your whisper?
Another aspect to ham radio out there, and I think, like Terry said, get a handbook and read it. It's the ARRL Radio Amateur's Handbook. Very, very useful. The new editions might be a little pricey. You can buy a used one a year or two old. Very, very interesting stuff to read. And there's all sorts of publications from the ARRL. You can find that on their website. Okay. Let's move on to the TechNet. Anybody have a technical question? A lot of people bought equipment and stuff at the Hamfest in Sandwich. Anybody got a problem with it or question? Come now. AA9 and Miss the suffix. Come now, please.
Yeah, I don't know as far as problems or simplicity. I'm just thinking about the simplicity of the hobby. Actually, this is a service. That's the way I look at it. That's when I started. That's how I got into it, because it was a service. But at any rate, I just wanted to say that I am operating VHF IESO 3200 at 5 watts, and I'm using a homemade quad, single element quad, and I was going to ask what kind of signal are you getting from my unit up there?
Okay, you're breaking the repeater okay, and we can understand you, but there's quite a bit of noise in your signal. I did not catch your call or your name and your location. Could you try that again, please?
Yeah, this is Alpha 9 Victor Uniform. Michael in Wisconsin.
Okay, very, very good. 5 watts from Wisconsin, doing pretty good. So you're hitting the repeater okay, you're perfectly legible, just you're kind of in the noise.
Well, I'm concerned about the noise. I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe I should crank the power up, like Jim always says, crank the power up. But, you know, when I first started, I had a Drake, a real nice, what was it, a 4C or something like that, and I was getting into, for HF, I was getting into Chile. I was getting into Chile and northern France, and all I had was a V-beam, a small V-beam. I think it was cut maybe for 10 meters.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. On 40 meters, I'm running a single 6L6, one-tube 6L6 transmitter with 80 watts in, which is way overloaded, about 40 watts out, and an NC88 national receiver from 1954. And the antenna is about a 35-foot piece of wire. You can make contact with this stuff. It really does work.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You know, it's really not that complicated or that, you don't have to spend that kind of money. I got a lot of this, a lot of my equipment used, all except the Alinco. I got a new Alinco, but I've moved 5 times, and I'm in an apartment building, and I can't, it's hard for me to get an HF antenna up, but I've got an Alinco DX70T, and I'd like to get that working here pretty quick. I'm sure that will work well for me.
KD9MAP.
Go ahead.
Mike, I just wanted to say your signal sounds as good as anybody else's on the net tonight, so don't fret. You know, your 5 watts and your homemade antenna are working great. I also am on a 5-watt antenna, 5-watt bow thing with a homemade and indoor antenna. So you sound fine. KD9MAP over.
Good over here. We're on that too. A little bit of white noise, nothing to worry about.
No, I wanted to make sure you got that, Michael. You're perfectly readable, and don't worry about it. Yes, if you're in an apartment and you can't get an antenna up, maybe you can get one down if you can hang a wire or something over a balcony.
Yeah, that's all a good, good thing. I've been thinking about that. Even if I paste one up on the ceiling, about 66 inches maybe, or I mean feet, 66 feet. Inches wouldn't work. VU back to net.
Okay, Michael, somebody doubled with you that time, just after you were mentioning something about 66 feet, and somebody else came in. Do you want to repeat from there, please?
Well, I guess what I said was probably if I strung an antenna in the house 60 feet, maybe 66 feet long. You know, MFJ has a real nice end-fed antenna, and they claim you probably don't even need it with it. That might be a nice one to hook up to my Alinco. Anything's worth a try.
Michael, yeah, I've got a MFJ put together, and you just put a piece of coax up to it. And it's yours if you want it. You just pick it up. I could not get the SWR about 3. You'd have better luck.
There's somebody keying up over you through there now.
Michael, did you copy my last AA9VU K9KZT?
I didn't get the first part of it, but I got the idea. You have a MFJ. I didn't hear what model it was, but yeah, I could use something if there was some way for me to get a hold of it. Why, I'd be happy to have it.
Very good. It's yours. My email. Grab a pencil there. My email is l.lisle@usa.net. l.lisle@usa.net. QSL? Okay, Michael, did you copy that? AA9VU? Okay, Terry, do you copy me?
Roger, roger.
Okay, I'll repeat that a little later, Michael, and you're welcome to it. Just we'll make arrangements for time for you to pick it up. Okay, K9KZT here. Anybody else for the TechNet? Come now.
C9GO.
C9GO, what do you got?
Yeah, I was thinking for Michael, he's got a balcony. He could put one of those mag antennas out there, the circular ones, you know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, he could get on all the HF bands that whatever the antenna would handle, and he wouldn't need a big antenna then.
Very good, very good. And remember, hams used to operate mobile on 75, 40, 20, all the low bands, especially 10 meters, big whips on the back of the car, and they got out. I remember a fella I rode with down to Starved Rock Hamfest one time, and he's talking to people all the way down there and back on 75 meters with just a whip antenna and about 60 watts.
I talked all the way from here to all the way through Indiana one night, talking to some friends I used to chat with all the time on 80 up there in, well, one was in northern Michigan, the other in northern Wisconsin, and yeah, 80 works great on a car.
Yeah, I think you did better ground wave coverage than you do on a lot of bands. And anyway, it's possible. So just that same length antenna hanging off a balcony or sticking out from a balcony, you can make contact.
Magnetic loop was what I was trying to think of, and I don't know why I couldn't think of it. Anyhow, back to that. This is AC9GO.
Okay, AC9GO, thank you. Anybody else for the TechNet? Come now.
Another thing you might be able to use too is like a ear clamp mount that you stick into one blue station. If you've got a balcony with a metal rail on it.
That'll work. Okay, very good. Anything else? Anybody for the TechNet?
W9JTC.
W9JTC, what you got?
Well, I was just thinking too. I says, and not that I'm an MFJ pusher either, but they also make a balcony antenna, if memory serves, that you just clamp on, and I think it sits at like a 45-degree angle or something, and it's coil loaded, and you basically tap that coil for whichever band you're working, if memory serves right. I remember they call it a balcony antenna, and that might work for them as well, and I don't think they're very expensive. I think they're under the $200 mark, if memory serves. I want to say around $130 or $140 the last time I saw them. So that might be an option for them as well.
Very good, very good. Yeah, or you don't have to spend even that much. Just get a CB antenna, probably for not very much, and range it with some sort of a mount that they make all sorts of them for CB, and then put a wire on the end of that and let that hang down, and that'll work fine too. Anyway, Michael, are you back with us? AA9VU?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, did you copy my email address?
Yeah, those are all very good suggestions. I'm thankful, I can work with something there. Somehow I'll make it work.
Yep, where there's a will, there's an inheritance. Okay. All right, any other topics or whatever for the TechNet? Come now.
C9GO.
Go, Larry.
One thing that I did want to kind of emphasize is one of the new hams are going to buy something for HF. Don't go with the QRP. QRP takes a heck of a good antenna. Some other tricks and stuff to really make a lot of contacts. I know some guys who do it, but I would go for a 100-watt rig for HF, for anything on the repeater, 5, 10 watts to 50 watts, is fine, but for the HF bands, stick with the 100-watt rigs to start out with. It's going to make life a lot easier.
Absolutely right. Very good point. Yes, new hams need every advantage they can get. So don't. QRP is fun, but it's not for the newbie. I would just add to that, if possible, you're buying a used piece of equipment. If it's try not to spend too much money, but try also to try the thing, and at least you should be able to hear signals on it. And if not, pass. Ask the ham selling it if it works. A lot of hams are honest, and they'll tell you if it doesn't work or if there's a problem, but you have to ask. They're not just going to volunteer. Look at the line cord. Great. Look at the line cord. If it's cracked and pieces of insulation are coming off, you don't want that radio because the wiring inside is probably just about the same. Smell the thing. Does it smell of a basement? Does it smell like something burnt in there? If it does, you don't want it. Make sure all the controls move. And then don't spend too much money and ask if there's any guarantee on this thing. And if possible, buy from a local ham, even if you're buying at a ham fest, that you might be able to come back to them and just ask, why does this not work? And maybe you're just not operating it properly. Or in the case of one I bought a 2-meter rig back in the day. And anyway, the thing was off frequency, so I had trouble making contacts on the air. And and somebody chided this gentleman about, well, I see you finally got rid of that thing. Well, I think he was embarrassed. At least I hope he was. Okay. Anything else for the TechNet? SwapNet. That's what's next, and then we'll have trivia, and that'll be Rick. But right now, anything for the SwapNet? Anything you bought at the Ham Fest that you want to get rid of, or you got something neat now that replaces what you used to have. What do you have? Buy, sell, trade. You'd mentioned prices on the air, but please no negotiating. It should be in your possession. It's ham radio or computer related. Come now for the swap net. K9 QDP, what you got?
I have three items over here. One is an AEA. It's called a Morrismatic, model MM2. And what it is it's a electronic heater. You plug your paddle into it, and you run your leads in the back of the transceiver and the input there. And depending on what type of transceiver you got, whether you got a tube or a solid state one, there's a negative output there on the back of the ear, and there's a positive on the back of the ear here. And this thing here is capable of sending anywhere from 1 to 99 words a minute. You can send that fast. You have programmable memories in it. You can use it for practicing CW, receiving, and also, let me see, I can get it. Yes, this one here has a kit mode in it. In other words, you can program it to, if you wanted to, as a simple reminder to give your ID. Every 10 minutes there, you can program it in there, or you can actually hook this up to your transceiver and have a beacon, maybe on 10 meters. But yeah, this device here requires a wall wart power adapter, and of course your key, and the jump cable to go from the heater to the back of the transceiver. And I have that for sale. I'll take $50 for that. And also I have two 300-watt antenna tuners. One is the older model, white-faced MFJ. I believe it's a 941 300-watt antenna tuner. Also have a NW 300-watt antenna tuner. And I'll take $50 for each of those. If you buy all three items here, I'll sell them to you for $75.
All right. An AA Morrismatic MM2, $50. Do you have the wall wart with it?
That I don't, but I do have a copy of the manual.
Okay, no wall wart with the manual. I just wanted to say do we have the wall wart with it? Say that fast 3 times. Okay, two 300-watt antenna tuners, $50 each, and $75 if you take, I think 2 of the items or something like that. And contact information, Rick?
Buy all 3 of them at once, so don't pay for $75 grand total. Contact is k9@gmail.com.
Stuff down. KD9QDP@gmail.com. QSL?
QSL. Oh, that's mentioned here too. I have a 1 kilowatt antenna too. Swan SE1A. It's rated at 1 kilowatt. It's not exactly a small signal. It's probably the equivalent to the glass design of the Swan transceiver prior to merging with Cubic back in the day. It's all black. It's the 3-knot there, your transmitter, inductor, and antenna. There is no meter on this particular model, so you'll have to use a little meter. Yeah, I'll let that go too.
the 300-watt tuners have meters, SWR bridges in them?
They do, yeah. They have the meters.
Very, very good. There's a bargain for you guys. New hams, you just bought a new rig or something, you'll need a tuner or you probably want one. Okay, very good. And that's KD9QDP@gmail.com. Also, the AA Morse-Matic, Morse-Matic MM2, $50, no wall warp, but with manual. Okay, so contact Rick for further information. Anybody else swap that?
Take $100 for the 1 kilowatt.
Okay, thank you. Any other stations for the swap net?
KD9EPZ, and nothing for the swap net, but is it me or is Rick very low audio?
I noticed that too. Rick, you want to try hitting the mic a little harder?
Oh, okay, how's that?
Very, very good, thank you. How about you, Al?
That was better. Wait, he forget to have his microphone up. Yeah, I was going to have something, but someone bought it from me this afternoon.
Oh, our loss is your gain. Okay, very good. Anybody else for the swap net?
KD9MAP.
KD9MAP, what you got?
I have some traffic for after the swap net. I just wanted to let you know. Thank you.
Hey, why don't you give it now?
Okay, this is KD9MAP. This is traffic that will probably be of interest to many of you. Bill, KC9OJP, has announced on the Facebook page that he has set up a field day for us. Is that news to anybody?
Let's hear all about it.
Okay, here's what he says. I have managed to get us at the Genoa VFW for field day June 26th and 27th. The VFW is only 30 minutes south of Rockford and easy to find. He'll have his camper, he'll have a generator, and some other things. Brief reset. He does not give an address for Genoa VFW, and my attempt to find it with a Google search has been confusing, so we will have to contact him, Bill, KC9OJP, to get the exact address, but it sounds like he's got something set up here. June 26th and 27th, Genoa VFW. KD9MAP, over.
Well, thank you very much, Terry. Thank you for relaying that. And I'm sure there'll be more information posted as time goes by. Glad to hear it. Any other stations? Well, let's finish up this, I guess. Anything more for the swap net? Then we'll go to trivia with Rick. Come now for the swap net. Any more stations like to check in? Come now, please.
Whiskey 9 Bravo Lima, Marengo, Rob.
Thank you, Rob. Good to hear from you. W9BLI dot. Is that correct?
You're correct, sir.
Thank you. I don't know if you heard the topic or not. It's advice for new hams on new equipment, what to buy. Assume they've got a bow fang or a handheld. What else should they buy for VHF or for high frequency? Or what used equipment might they look for at a ham fest? Do you have anything on that or anything else? Go ahead, Rob.
I'd say, they could, the 2-meter VHF or, the 440 UHF, you can buy antennas pretty reasonable for those and, get on the air with those units, along with the HF. Of course, HF is the mainstay there, but one of these would suffice too.
Very, very good. And maybe something that nobody's mentioned is an SWR meter or SWR bridge if the rig you're looking at does not have one. It's very, very useful in finding out what your antenna is doing. And there are more elaborate things, but just a simple SWR bridge will be just fine. MFJ makes one. I use one here, designed for VHF. You need one designed for VHF if you're going to use it on 2 meters or something. Or you can get them for the high-frequency bands as well. Okay. Any other stations to check in? Go ahead now.
Kilo Charlie 9 Yankee India.
C9YI, how are you? And what do you got?
Oh, good evening. Glad you could hear me tonight, and the net's coming in pretty good shape. Name here is Scott. I'm in Monroe, and you know that FT991A looks like a pretty nice rig for doing everything from UHF right through HF. So I don't know. That's one that kind of tempts me sometimes. So that's about all I got for the net. Kind of wondering how Jimmy's doing. If you heard anything, we had company here earlier this evening, and hadn't had a chance to turn on the rig until now. This is KC9YI.
Thanks, Scott.
Turn it over to Jimmy. He's riding along here. He's in the retirement home. Not retirement home, I'm sorry, recovery home. And he'll be there another week, I think. Jimmy, say hello. Okay, not very good that time, Jimmy. Not as good as it was before. Negative copy on anything. Could hear you barely behind the noise. Do you want to try again? I'm sorry, Jimmy, we just can't copy tonight. I don't know why. Okay. He's on a handheld over there and indoors and with an antenna. And he was getting out pretty good last week, but not so good tonight. Anyway, Scott, he'll be there another week or so, I think. And he's kind of asked Rick and myself to do the net until he's back. But he's on his way. He's on his way to recovery. KC9YI.
Okay, well, that's certainly very good news, and if Jimmy can hear me, we're sure thinking about him and glad that he's on the road to recovery, and we'll be looking forward to hearing him on the radio when he gets back home. So everybody have a good evening. It's going to be a chilly one. We're covering our flowers up here in Monroe a little bit. I don't know if the frost is supposed to get down your direction or not, but it's a pretty chilly evening. So anyway, take care, and thanks for letting me in. This is KC9YI. I'll be clear.
Thanks, Scott.
Much, and I think you're checking in number 21 tonight. Anybody else checking in? For any reason to the Friday Night Fun net? Come now.
This is KD9QDP. Just want to say good evening to Scott up there. You're kind of quick there on the key, Larry.
Oh, was it? Did I cut somebody off?
Tried to get in there a couple of times.
I'm sorry. This does not release all at once. I've noticed that before. I release the key and then the repeater does not react, and I don't know why. Anyway, what you got?
Just wanted to say good evening to Scott there for checking in.
Sorry. Okay. Well, last call, any more stations, and we're going on to trivia with Rick. Anybody else check in, please?
KD9NKC, Toby and Rockford.
With that out of the way, let's get underway with KD9, QDP, and trivia time.
Double with the check-in.
There's a check-in out there, Larry.
I'm sorry. Check income now.
KD9 NKC, Toby in Rockford.
KD9 NKC, Toby. What you got, Toby?
Oh, just want to say hi to everybody. It's been a long time since I've checked in, so hope everybody's doing well. I hear Jimmy's on the mend, so that's good to hear.
Very, very good. Do you have anything on our topic tonight, which was what do you recommend for a new ham? And as far as new equipment, assume they already have a handheld, or used equipment they should look for at a ham fest?
Well, I still consider myself to be a new ham as well. I'm running a Baofeng BF F8 HP, and I do have the SWR meter as recommended, and just some custom build antennas. You know, keep it on the cheap.
That's all you need. You do not necessarily have to spend a lot of money. You can, and it's fun. And but a new ham, like I think Larry AC9TO said, start, and a couple other people, start on the cheap, see if you like it. I think Rick had something to say on that line too. Well, very good. Glad to have you, Toby. KD9 NKC. Anybody else checking in? Nothing heard. Rick, it's yours.
Okay, a little bit of trivia here. I picked this up today. It was handed over to me by my sister. Talking about trivia, I have to think about this one here. But this is TV trivia from years ago. So I'll start out with this here, and then we'll work our way up to the questionnaire for the technician class license this evening. But anyway, getting into this TV trivia here, here's question number 1. Who was the longtime host of the Howdy Doody Show? Who was the longtime host of the Howdy Doody Show? Any of you out there know? I think, was that you, Jimmy?
Me, KZT.
TTC, we all trip.
Who's got the answer here? I thought I heard Jimmy out there and said Buffalo Bob.
You've been right, Buffalo Bob Smith.
Right. Right, next one here is, what is the original name of the Ed Sullivan Show? What was the original name of the Ed Sullivan Show?
Talk of the Town.
You're close. It was called Toast of the Town.
Bummer.
Oh, TV series took place in what town?
I'm going to try that one again.
That the TV show Gunsmoke took place in what city? Takers on that one, well, that would be Dodge City, Kansas. What was Dick Van Dyke's last name in his TV show, the Dick Van Dyke Show?
P3, KD9MAP.
Got that one, Kerry. Mr. Magoo, the cartoon character, Mr. Magoo, what was his first name?
Quincy.
Got it, Al.
Those aren't old, we are.
Here's another one. How many years did Johnny Carson host the Tonight Show? Want to take a stab at it?
Say 13 years.
Anybody else want to take a stab? Okay, I'll tell you. 30 years he hosted the Tonight Show. That's quite a long time there. Oh, let me see. What else have I got here? Uncle Fester appeared on what show?
The Addams Family.
Go, you got it. Who played Batgirl on Batman on the program Batman? Who played Batgirl on the program Batman?
That's Julie something.
No, that would be Yvonne Craig. You're thinking about Julie Newman.
Newmar.
That's it. Fred Gwynn. Actor Fred Gwynn appeared on what show? They only mentioned one in this, but I can think of two.
Munsters.
That was one of them. Can anybody guess what the other one was?
Car 54.
Are you?
There you go, that's it. Both got it. Played Kojak. Got it, Mike. Name the theme song from the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Love is all around.
That one, Kerry. Let me see what else here. Elton John, singer-songwriter Elton John. Real name. What's his real name? Oh, his real name is Reginald Dwight. The actor-comedian, legendary George Burns. What was his real name? Ethan Brimbaum. You know what night of the week My Three Sons came on? That was Thursday night. They always came on. I remember that one. Never did watch it that much, but I do remember the days it came on. Some of the programs, anyway. Let me see what else have I got here. Red Fox, comedian Red Fox. Real name was what? You know? Okay, his real name was John Sanford. John Sanford was his real name. I got a couple more here for you. Who was the voice of Charlie the Tuna on the commercial? Charlie the Tuna. It's a tough one, isn't it? Well, that would be Herschel Bernardi. Herschel Bernardi. That was the voiceover for Charlie the Tuna. What program, what comedy sitcom program, I'll give you a clue. It was on CBS. What comedy sitcom who had a wife called Dingbat?
All in the Family, KD9MAP.
Got it there, Kerry. All right, that's it for the trivia. Moving on here. Do you see this? And here's the some questions here for the techs. We're going to be going in there shortly to take their exam and
pass their license and get on here on the Friday Night Funnet and participate along with us. Hopefully. Anyway, first question here is, what is the most common use of reverse split function in a VHF UHF transceiver?
Listen to the input, AC9GO.
Well, wait a second, you're getting ahead. I didn't even read the answers yet.
You asked the question.
The answers. You're cheating. Stop it. Here are the possible answers. Is it A, reduce power output, B, increase power output? Is it C, listen on the repeater's input frequency? Or is it D, listen to the repeater's output frequency? Question once again is, what is the most common use of the reverse split function of a VHF UHF transceiver?
AC9GO.
Yeah, I think you got it right there. I'll have to give you that one.
It's a red star.
Larry, here's one for you. I'm going to make this difficult. I'll read the answers first, then you give me the correct question.
He's got to hold an envelope up to his forehead.
You got the envelope.
Let's see here. Which of the following countries are FCC licensed amateur radio stations, that is, prohibited from exchanging communications? Is it A, any country whose administration has notified the International Telecommunications Union, better known as the ITU, that it objects, to such communications? Or is it B, any country whose administration has notified the American Radio Relay League, the ARRL, that it objects to such communications? Or is it C, any country engaged in hostilities with another country? Or is it D, any country in violation of the War Powers Act of 1934? Question once again is, which countries are FCC licensed amateur stations prohibited from exchanging communication?
Not sure, but I'll go with C, AC9GO.
I'll go with A, KD9EPZ.
Hey, Larry, you're wrong. Al, you're right. Here we go again. Semiconductors and thingamabobs inside the radio. What class of yeah, I read that right. What am I saying? What class of electronic components uses a voltage or current signal to control current flow? What class of electronic components uses a voltage or current signal to control current flow? Is it A, capacitors, B, inductors, C, resistors, or D, transistors?
Predict that the answer to the next question is B, Bravo.
Oh, you think so, Kerry? There's somebody else out there with you there, Kerry, too, with a possible answer. The other station come now. What was yours, Kerry?
D, transistors.
Well, you both hit it right smack dab on the correct answer. Pat yourselves on the back. Here's one, Ohm's Law. Not to be confused with Murphy's Law. All right, the question here is, what formula is used to calculate current in a circuit?
Is it A, current equals voltage multiplied by resistance? Is it B, current equals voltage divided by resistance? Or is it C, current equals voltage added to the resistance? Or is it D, current equals voltage minus resistance? What formula is used to calculate current in a circuit?
AC9GO.
What's that, Larry?
I say B. Current equals voltage divided by resistance.
Correct.
Just as I predicted, KD9MAP.
Right. What's going to be the next one?
You only get one free prediction every Friday. KD9MAP over.
So what? Oh, that's it. Here's another one. What is the name for the distance a radio wave travels during one complete cycle? What is the name for the distance a radio wave travels during one complete cycle? Is it A, wave speed, B, waveform, C, wavelength, or D, wave spread?
C, KD90PZ.
You're right. Okay, next question here. What is the International Telecommunications Union, better known as the ITU? What is the International Telecommunications Union, ITU? Is it A, an agency of the United States Department of Telecommunications Management? Is it B, a United Nations agency for information and communication technology issues? Or is it C, an independent frequency coordination agency? Or is it D, Department of the FCC?
KD9SHGB.
Correct. It is B. What is the International Telecommunications Union, known as the ITU? It's a United Nations agency for information on communication technology issues. Here's another one. What happens if a transmitter is operated with the microphone gain set too high? What happens to a transmitter when it is operated with the microphone gain set too high? Is it A, the output might be too high? Is it B, the output signal might become distorted? Is it C, the frequency may vary that is? Or is it D, the SWR might increase? What happens if a transmitter is operated with the microphone gain set too high?
They will be distorted. KD90PZ.
Correct, Alan. I thought Carrie'd have that one right. She should have stuck with some more B's there tonight, Carrie.
I'm laying back. I don't want to hog it.
And 45 degrees here. This is KD9QDP on the Friday Night Fun Net via the W98XT repeater in Rockford. Okay, next question here. Which of the following is a safety hazard of a 12-volt storage battery? Is it A, touching both terminals with the hands can cause an electrical shock, or is it B, shorting the terminals can cause burn, fire, or an explosion? Is it C, RF emissions from the battery? Or is it D, all these choices above are correct?
Well, that's a B Bravo, isn't it?
Hey, I thought you were going to lay back.
It was a B. I think I actually did that once. I actually shorted out a battery with a piece of pure silicon, and I lived to tell the tale.
Celebrating the 4th of July early. Nothing wrong with that.
Silicon has the property that as its temperature goes up, its conductance goes up, its resistance goes down. That's unusual, and it just turns white hot instantly when you do that.
Yeah, somebody else is out there keyed up with you there, Kerry. The other station, go ahead.
I know a guy that did that with a brand new Corvette, and not only caught fire, blew up, it burned to the ground. There was nothing but ashes afterwards, and I guess, of course, the motor and transmission, there was very little left, I guess. C9G.
They don't make cars like they used to, that's for sure.
This was quite a long time ago. You know, with a total fiberglass body, burnt the body, the interior, the motor, or the wheels, everything was gone. AC9GO.
Well, that sounds like an easy pickup for a record truck.
Just need a good magnet for the motor, I guess. AC9GO.
The individual had enough sense to save the ashtray, glove box, and cigarette lighter out of it. The clock, too, if that worked.
It was at a rest area, I think, out off a tollway. By the time fire department got there was nothing left.
He probably took the car home and sold it in a fire sale.
Don't think he even took it home.
Okay, moving along here. Next question. What is the name of an electrical wiring diagram that uses standard component symbols? Is it bill of material, A? Is it B, connector pinout? Is it C, schematic? Or is it D, a flowchart? Question once again is, what is the name of an electrical wiring diagram that uses standard component symbols?
E, N9ZO.
What was that, Rich?
E is in Charlie.
Correct. Schematic. That's what it's called. Stand by here. I'm looking for something different here. Some of these I remember reading off last week. So my mind ain't completely gone yet. Decisions. Oh, here's one. Why is it important to have low SWR when using coaxial cable feed lines? Is it A, to reduce television interference? Is it B, to reduce signal loss? Is it C, to prolong antenna life? Or is it D, all these choices are correct? And once again is, why is it important to have low SWR when using coaxial cable feed lines? Is it A, to reduce television interference, B, to reduce signal loss, C, to prolong antenna life, or D, all the above?
Well, that's a B Bravo. I gotta grab it.
Are you in or out?
I'm sorry. I'll stand by for the next 4 questions.
All right, I'll give you this one. Here's a question that Jimmy always say. This one here will get you to the top of the list there, right up there, as one of the most important questions in any exam, and that is the antenna safety and tower whatchamajigger related question. So this will get you right up to the top there. And someday in the future, all you newcomers out there, you too may be having the thrill of and excitement and enjoyment of erecting or helping somebody put up a tower in the future. That's always a possibility when you get into amateur communication. Somebody out there's always wanting some help. So, and if you're crazy enough to volunteer, well, then suffer. But anyway, the question here is, when should members of a tower work team wear a hard hat and safety glasses? Is it A, at all times except for when climbing the tower? Is it B, at all times except when belted firmly to the tower? Or is it C, at all times when any work is being done on the tower? Or is it D, only when the tower exceeds 30 feet in height? Question once again is, what should members do of a tower work team? What should members do of a tower work team? No, wait, I didn't say that right. When should members of a tower work team wear hard hat safety glasses? Is it A, at all times except for when climbing the tower? Is it B, at all times except for when belted firmly to the tower? Or is it C, at all times when any work is being done on a tower? Or is it D, only when the tower exceeds 30 feet in height?
Charlie at 9-0.
9-0. Richard, you're correct. At all times when any work is being done on a tower, you should wear a hard hat and safety glasses. Question is here, what is a beam antenna? I think I said this one last week, so I'm pretty sure I did. Well, I'll do it again. What the heck? What is a beam antenna? Is it A, an antenna built from aluminum I-beams? Is it B, an omnidirectional antenna invented by Clarence Beam? Is it C, an antenna that concentrates signals in one direction? Or is it D, an antenna that reverses the phase of received signals? What is a beam antenna?
He is in Charlie.
You're correct again there, Richard. C, an antenna that concentrates signals in one direction. That's what a beam antenna is. QDP on the Friday night trivia via the W9AXD repeater in Rockford.
Jimmy still in there? And 9-0.
That's a good question. Jimmy, you still out there? Hey, Jimmy, I heard you there. Good evening there, Jimmy.
You might give Jimmy an idea, because with your movie trivia, he may come back on you guys with baseball when he gets back.
There's nothing wrong with that, Rich. A little bit of trivia regarding anything there, you know, it's always good to keep the mind fresh and all that. Yeah, I don't mind trivia. I like it. Some of that stuff is kind of interesting, you know. You never thought about it all the years, and all of a sudden you read something pertaining to it, and yeah, it gets the mind going. The next question here is, what can you do if you are told your FM handheld or mobile transceiver is over-deviating? Is it A, talk louder into the microphone, B, let the transceiver cool off, is it C, change to a higher power level, or D, talk further away from the microphone? What can you do if you're told that your FM handheld or mobile transceiver is over-deviating? Is it A, talk louder into the microphone, B, let the transceiver cool off, C, change to a higher power level, or D, talk further away from the microphone?
Is in dog.
Is in dog. Talk further away from the microphone. Correct answer. Which term describes the ability of a receiver to detect the presence of a signal? Is it A, linearity, B, sensitivity, C, selectivity, D, total harmonic distortion? What term describes the ability of a receiver to detect the presence of a signal?
89 SHG, sensitivity.
Sensitivity is correct answer. It is B, sensitivity. Which term describes the ability of a receiver to detect the presence of the signal? Yep, it is B, sensitivity. Correct on that. To the following devices, which of the following devices or circuit changes, I should say, let's start this over again. Which of the following devices or current changes an alternating current into a varying direct current signal? Which of the following devices or circuits changes an alternating current into a varying direct current signal? There we go. Is it A, transformer, B, rectifier, C, amplifier, or D, reflector? Question once again is, which of the following devices or circuit changes an alternating current into a varying direct current signal? Is it A, transformer, B, rectifier, C, amplifier, or D, reflector?
That's a B, bravo. That you newcomers haven't experienced what the old timers have, what the smell of a burned out selenium rectifier is. It's a horrible, horrible smell. 89 MAP, over.
You're correct there, Kerry. You're really hooked on the bees tonight. So, yeah, you're doing good there so far.
I'll lay back.
KC9 CFL checking in, no traffic.
K9CFL. Checking in, no traffic. You copy that there, Kerry?
I got it. This is Larry, K9TZT. KC9CFL, you have any, how you doing down there?
I am Mike in Rockton, and doing great. Breathing in and out. My wife is doing great. We're almost ready to have a baby. And, working. I get lucky, though. I work from home, so I really don't have to go anywhere. It's wonderful. KC9, CFL, back to that control.
C9CFL, well, really glad to have you, Mike. We're in the trivia portion tonight with KD9 QDP, Rick. So you're welcome to join in. These are, right now we're on questions relating to the tech ham test, and there's going to be some sessions coming up for people to take their test. So if you're interested, stick around and see what you can do. K9KZT, back to Rick, KD9 QDP.
Hey, Larry. Next question here is, which of the following is a purpose of the amateur radio service as stated in the FCC rules and regulations? Which of the following is a purpose of the amateur radio service as stated in the FCC rules and regulations? Is it A, providing personal radio communication for as many citizens as possible? Is it B, providing communications for international non-profit organizations? Or is it C, advancing the skills in the technical art and communication phases of radio art? Or is it D, all the choices above? And once again, which of the following is a purpose of the amateur radio service as stated in the FCC rules and regulations? Is it A, providing personal radio communications for as many citizens as possible? Is it B, providing communications for international non-profit organizations? Is it C, advancing the skills in the technical and communication phases of the radio art? Or is it D, all the above?
89 SHG, it's going to be C as in Charlie.
Correct. Which of the following is a purpose of the amateur radio service as stated in the FCC rules and regulations? That is C, advancing the skills in the technical and communication phases of the radio art.
I just wanted to apologize. I didn't properly check in KD9SHG. My name's John.
Okay, John. Well, I think Larry's got you checked in there, so you're good to go. If he doesn't, he probably heard you, so okay.
KD9MAP. G. And Mike, KC9 CFL, I want to wish you the best with your new son or daughter, and I hope everything goes well. And let's see, your name is Mike. How about the name of Key? That would be a good name. Okay, back to Rick, KD9 QDP.
Harry, you had something to say?
This is KD9MAP. I just wanted to say hi to John. We met through the Facebook, I think, and I loaned him a Baofeng cable, so I'm glad to see you're on the... is this your first time on the Friday Night Fun Net, John?
Hey, Kerry. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's my first night on the Fun Net. Got out of school early. Upgraded from the Baofeng. I got a ICOM 2300H in the car now.
Okay, great. Well, you're ripping it up here. I can hear you. It's like you're sitting here in the room with me. So, welcome. Thanks for letting me get that in. KD9MAP over.
I didn't think that sounded like a Baofeng. Sounded too good. AC9GO.
go grab my Baofeng if you want me to.
Oh, that's quite all right.
Okay, next question here. What is the most common use? I already said that one. What am I doing here? Gee. I think that's it for the tech. I'm going to go with the next one here, general. So these following questions here are for the general class exam. So let me see here. Let's go with the first one here. Oh yeah, this is a good one. On which of the HF MF bands is a general class license holder granted all amateur privileges? On which HF MF band is a general class license holder granted all amateur frequency privileges? Is it A, 60 meters, 20, 17, or 12? Or is it B, 160, 80, 40, and 10? Or is it C, 160, 60, 30, 17, 12, and 10? Or is it D, 160 meters, 30, 17 meters, 15, 12 meters, or 10 meters? On which HF MF band is a general class license holder granted all amateur frequency privileges? One more time here. On which HF MF bands is a general class license holder granted all amateur frequency privileges? Is it A, 60, 20, 17, 12 meters? Or is it B, 160, 80, 40, 10 meters? Or is it C, 160, 60, 30, 17, 12, and 10 meters? Or is it D, 160, 30, 17, 15, 12, and 10 meters? Okay, I thought that would be a stumper out there. I'll read it off again and give the correct answer. Question is, on which HF MF bands is a general class license holder granted all amateur frequency privileges? That would be C. Granted all frequency privileges on 160, 60, 30, 17, 12, and 10 meters. This one here pertains to the 60-meter band. What is the maximum transmitting power an amateur station may use on 10.140 megahertz? Is it A, 200 watts, B, 1,000 watts, C, 1,500 watts, D, 2,000 watts? That's all in PEP power, too, by the way. Is it A, 200, B, 1,000, C, 1,500, D, 2,000? What is the maximum transmitting power an amateur station may use on 10.140 megahertz?
I think that might be A, AC9GO.
You are correct, Larry. 200 watts, maximum power PEP for the 60-meter band. 30 meters. 30 meters. What am I saying? Another one. Which sideband is most commonly used for voice communications on frequencies above 14 megahertz or higher? Is it A, upper sideband, B, lower sideband, C, vestigial sideband, whatever that is, or D, double sideband? What sideband is most commonly used for voice communications on frequencies above 14 megahertz? Is it A, upper sideband, B, lower sideband, C, vestigial sideband, or D, double sideband?
BA, AC9GO.
You're correct, Larry. Upper sideband. Everything above 14 is upper sideband. Anything below that, lower sideband. The exception of 60 meters. I believe that's upper sideband communications there on them, what is it, 5 or 6, 5 channels there. Okay, here's one on CW. Which of the following describes full break-in in telegraphy, QSK? Which of the following describes full break-in telegraphy and also known as QSK? Is it A, breaking stations send the Morse code cosine BK? Is it B, automatic keyers instead of hand keys are used to send Morse code? Is it C, an operator must activate a manual send-receive switch before and after every transmission? Or is it D, transmitting stations can receive between code characters or elements? Which of the following describes full break-in telegraphy, also known as QSK? Okay, I'll read it again here. Which of the following describes full break-in telegraphy, also known as QSK? Is it A, breaking stations send the Morse code cosine BK? Is it B, automatic keyers instead of hand keys are used to send Morse code? Or is it B, an operator must activate a manual send-receive switch before and after every transmission? Or is it D, transmitting stations can receive between code characters and elements? Which of the following describes full break-in telegraphy, also known as QSK?
D, Alpha Charlie 9, Golf Oscar.
I didn't catch your answer there, Larry.
D as in dog.
You're correct. That is correct answer. Transmitting stations can receive between code characters and elements. Elephants as far as that goes. Question, which of the following would disqualify a third party from participating in stating a message over an amateur station? Which of the following would disqualify a third party from participating in a station, a third party from participating in stating a message, that is, over an amateur station? Which of the following would disqualify a third party from participating in stating a message over an amateur station? Is it A, a third party amateur license has been revoked and not reinstated? Is it B, the third party is not a U.S. citizen? Is it C, the third party is a licensed amateur? Or is it D, the third party is speaking in a language other than English. Which of the following would disqualify a third party from participating in stating a message over an amateur radio station? Read it again here. Maybe you didn't catch on. Which of the following would disqualify a third party from participating in stating a message over an amateur station? Is it A, a third party's amateur license has been revoked and not reinstated? Or is it B, a third party is not a U.S. citizen? Is it C, the third party is a licensed amateur? Or is it D, the third party is English, the third party is speaking in language other than English? Anybody out there with the correct answer?
D is in dog from EC9GO.
I'm sorry, Larry, but that's incorrect.
I knew I'd blow one of them.
Yeah, you know, you win some, you lose some. That's the way it goes, I guess. All right, let me see. We're moving along here. See if I can find something else here. Oh, here's one. Oh, wrong one. What is the purpose of the notch filter found on many HF transceivers? What is the purpose of the notch filter found on many HF transceivers? Is it A, to restrict the transmission voice bandwidth? Or is it B, to reduce interference from carriers in the receiver passband? Or is it C, to eliminate receiver interference from impulse noise sources? Or is it D, to enhance the reception of a specific frequency on a crowded band? Question once again is, what is the purpose of the notch filter found on many HF transceivers? You out there with the correct answer? Okay, I'll read the question and give the correct answer. What is the purpose of the notch filter found on many HF transceivers? Correct answer is B, to reduce interference from carriers in the receiver passband. Okay, this one here has to deal with ionospheric layers, and the question is, which ionospheric layer is closest to the surface of the Earth? Is it A, the D layer, B, E layer, C, F1 layer, D, F2 layer? Which ionospheric layer is closest to the Earth's surface? It's after 10 o'clock. I should have said this 5 minutes ago. Parents, do you know where children are at? It's 10:05, as Jimmy used to say.
Children, do you know where your parents are?
Children, do you know where your parents are? As I think of it, too, I should give the ID, too. KD9QDP on the W9AXD repeater in Rockford, and the thing you're listening to here is called the Friday Night Fun Net. Out there with that correct answer to the ionospheric layer. I guess not. Okay, I'll read the question once again and see if somebody's got an answer out there. Which ionospheric layer is closest to the Earth's surface? Is it A, the D layer, B, the E layer, C, the F1 layer, D, the F2 layer? Which ionospheric layer is closest to the Earth's surface?
A, alpha, the D layer.
Are correct, Kerry. It is A, alpha, the D layer.
It's the next layer up, the D2 layer, that where all the fun happens, I guess.
Okay, well, I think I'll have one more question here, and then I'll turn it back to Kerry here. He's probably got to do some frequency reads-offs and various nets around the area on 2 meters and whatever there, so I'll give him time here. One more question here. It's in the general class exam. Of course, this will be the last one. What is the purpose of a speech processor used in a modern transceiver? What is the purpose of a speech processor as used in a modern transceiver? Is it A, to increase the intelligibility of a transmitted phone signal during poor communication conditions? Is it B, increasing transmitter base response for more natural sounding single sideband signals? Is it C, prevent distortion of voice signals? Or is it D, decrease high frequency voice output to prevent out of band operation? What is the purpose of a speech processor as used in a modern transceiver? Possible answers are A, increase the intelligibility of a transmitted phone signal during poor communication conditions. Is it B, increase transmission base response for natural sounding sideband signals? Or is it C, prevent distortion of voice signals? Or is it D, decrease high frequency voice output to prevent out of band operation? What is the purpose of a speech processor as used in a modern transceiver? Is it A, increase the intelligibility of a transmitted phone signal during poor communication conditions? Is it B, increase transmit base response for more natural sounding single sideband signals? Is it C, prevent distortion of voice signals? Or is it D, decrease high frequency voice output to prevent out of band operation? Anybody out there with the correct answer?
John, was C?
No, John. You're incorrect. Anything else out there?
KD9EPZ keeps bouncing around between A and B, A and B, A and B, but we'll try B.
You're correct. Incorrect, Al. Anyone else?
Try A, AC9GO.
You are correct, Larry. It is to increase the intelligibility of transmitted phone signals during poor conditions. So that's the purpose of a speech processor used in modern transceivers nowadays. So I guess that's going to wrap it up for the question pool here for tonight anyway. So turn it back to Larry there. KD9 KZT, KD9 QDP.
KD9 QDP, K9 KZT. Very good. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate that. That'll really help these people who are getting ready for a test, and I'll give the dates on those upcoming VE sessions. So if anybody on the scanner wants to grab a pencil and paper, while they're doing that, Rick, I might mention that a number of times you were talking before the transmission came on. I don't know whether it's your rig or the repeater or maybe mine. If you, somebody was recording this and going to post the audio, I think, tomorrow, you might want to listen to that. It's fun to listen to yourself on the air. And I did not notice myself that I was missing calls until I listened to that, and I'm not sure what to do about it. I just paused more before transmitting or whatever. Okay, anyway, here we are. VE sessions coming up. These are all at the Freeport Public Library. Contact Brandon McGrew. It's on Rah-Rah Facebook site. If you forget it, you just look there. Okay. Anyway, these are at the Freeport Public Library, 12:30 to 1:30. And you probably should let them know you're coming. There's a spot there to put whether you're going or not on the Facebook site. Saturday, June 5th. Saturday, August 7th. Saturday, October 2nd. And Saturday, December 4th. I'll read that again. Saturday, June 5th. Saturday, August 7th. Saturday, October 2nd. And Saturday, December 4th. So there's 4 more this year. So you can be a ham. It's not that hard. You just heard a lot of the questions. None of those are real puzzlers. You can memorize the ones you don't understand. Okay, let's talk about... Oh, God, I just put the paper away. Hang on just a minute. I'm sorry. Sorry, I cleaned off the desk too early. 7 o'clock Mondays, Rah-Rah Infonet 147195. Followed by Code Practice. Tuesday, 7 o'clock Health and Wellness Net 147195, followed by Code Practice. 8 o'clock 425 Net on 28.425, upper sideband vertical polarization with Rick, who you just heard, KD9 QDP. Wednesday, 8 o'clock 28.150. That's the Code Net with Carrie, KD9 MAP. And there's a swap net and Freeport 390 on the repeater, and the PL tone is 114.8. Okay. Thursday night, 7 o'clock, the Health and Wellness Net 147195, followed by Code Practice. 8 p.m. 147.390, the Saturn Net in Freeport. And Friday, the Friday Night Fun Net, 146610 with Jim, KC9GCR. Hope you'll be back next week. By the way, Monday, Monday, 7 o'clock, the Rah-Rah Infonet will be on 146610, so hopefully Jim can check in. Okay, I don't have the list of the honorary check-ins, but we honor all of them. People that have made a real contribution to the Friday Night Fun Net or to ham radio. Reminder, tomorrow is VE Day, the 76th anniversary, one of the happiest moments in American, British, Canadian, and our allies' history. People just went crazy. The British, I think, especially. Here in America, I'm not sure that people really thought that we would lose or that Hitler would rule the United States. But in Britain, they knew darn well that it was a real possibility. And they won. Blood, sweat, toil, and tears, they won with our help. Okay. Anyway, 76 years ago today, VE Day. So, thanks to everybody. Well, before we close, we'll turn it over to Jim, KC9GCR, see if we can copy a little better. Jim, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jim. I did not copy a word on that. I'm really sorry. Let me try the input. Hang on just a sec. All I got was the TD9 GCR clear 73s. I got that. Rick, did you copy any better?
He just wanted to thank us both for running in that there, and hopefully he'll be back next Friday. He said he'll hope and see.
Oh, righty. I might go out to eat or something. Okay, very good. Thanks to Rick, KD9QDP, for the trivia section and everything else he does for this amateur radio hobby of ours. Terry, KD9MAP, Larry, AC9GO, and especially to Jim, KC9GCR. A lot of great hams out there, and you know who you are, and thank you for everything, and I appreciate it. And this is K9KZT, closing the net. 73s.
Glad I'm a ham and not a hog, because hogs don't have any future.